All right. So again, today for 2-point perspective, we just need verticals and orthogonals. The first thing I'd like you to do is just take your straight edge and just draw a line lightly right through the middle of your page. This is meant to represent what? Eye level. Yeah, that's where I'm looking. I could move this up and have more land and less sky. I could move it down and have more sky and less land. Let's keep it simple today. There's eye level. Having trouble focusing this today. There we go. Let's put 2 vanishing points way out as far as you can. I wish I could get them out further. See, the closer they are, the more your world is squished and skewed and looks strange. The more you stretch them out, the more natural it looks. In fact, if you decided, I want to do a 2-point perspective drawing, I would insist that you take your piece of paper and actually add additional little pieces of just typing paper or something, tape them onto the back, and put your points well outside of your page. I'm going to insist. Because if you put your points on the page, it just looks really skewed. All right, let's get started. So, step 1, we did that. Eye level line. Step 2, we put down our vanishing points. 2 vanishing points. Step 3, we're going to make a vertical line. So just write vertical. I'm going to put a little question mark here, and what that means, it's supposed to represent is that, I get to decide. I've got a question here, like where do I put it? I decide I'm going to put my first vertical right here. I'll make it above and below the eye level line. I can put it anywhere. I can make it short. I can make it long. That's my decision. Step 4. Orthogonals. I'm going to play connect the dots here. I'm going to just put some dots at the end of this. You don't usually put dots, but if that helps make sense of this. I'm going to go to the left and to the right. You have to make that noise. And over this way. Now if you want, you don't have to draw it all the way to the vanishing point. Just send it that way and just stop short. I mean, you're going to be erasing these things, so start to get into that habit. So hopefully you're starting to see with a bigger picture here. I've drawn that leading edge, that corner that's coming toward me. And now I'm making 2 sides of my building. Well, then you have another choice to make. In fact, it's the same as step 3. I'm going to put in 2 more verticals, which are going to be parallel. And I get to decide. So 2 more verticals. I think I will make mine. I don't know, I'll make it about right here and make it vertical. And I'll do another on this side and make it vertical. Step 6 is to do some erasing. Let's just make this one solid form. So erase some orthos. Kind of undo step 4. Oops. And I would argue you should probably even erase this eye level line as it's seen through. Maybe keep it outside of this form. But now it looks like a solid stick of butter or something. And the last step would be to add details, to shade it, turn it into something. So you might want to make a note here. This is what we call the leading edge. That's the one that's close to you. There's no way to draw that unless you have 2 points, 2-point perspective. Let's try another one. Same formula. Let's try, we did the 2 vanishing points. Let's try a vertical. Let's put it maybe down here, well below our eye level. And if you're super smart and advanced, you can go ahead on to the next step, which is to draw our orthogonals. Just like we did last time. We're going to go to the left. Now I'm just going to send them that way, but I'm not going to draw all the way to the vanishing point. That's just more erasing. I'm going to go to the right. Again, if it makes you happy to draw them all the way, you can. But knowing you're going to erase them, just shoot them that direction. This one's going to be a little different. I want to be able to see the top of this one. Well, I can still do step 5. I need 2 more verticals that are obviously parallel. They're vertical. You decide where. I'm going to make this like a domino that fell over. So I'm going to make this one about here and maybe put this one back further. I do know those lines need to be straight up and down. Vertical. I decided to put those there. That's up to me. It's my prerogative. It's my choice. Well, this is weird. Last time I was basically done. Shoot. I need two more lines. Anyone know how to make this complete and finish the top? Do you know? What would I do?
Make the
It's tough to describe.
I know how to do it.
Okay, just put it in your own words. Like, should I start here?
No.
Here? Should I start here?
I know that.
I see you going like this. Yes, there's going to be some crisscrossing.
Yeah, I think I know.
Okay, how would you describe it?
Try to do it without pointing, but at the shorter, that corner.
Okay.
Make an orthogonal that goes towards the.
This way? Well, that doesn't do any good.
Yeah, the other way.
Oh, well, sure, it's one of the 2. What if we go this way? Oh, I think you're onto something. Oh, yeah.
And then on that corner.
Go this way?
No, other way.
Wait, that's not going to do any good. Yeah. So go this way?
Yes.
Over to this point? Whoa! And then they intersect, and you find your other corner. You are super smart. Cool. So yeah, we have to kind of crisscross those. And then you end up with, well, you can see the top of it. That makes sense, right? It's below your, eye level, so you're kind of looking down on it, like the table. I'm looking down at the table. It's almost like a table. Heck, you could draw some legs here and turn that into a table. That makes sense. Very good, Isabel. All right, let's do one more. Hopefully you got that to work. I'm going to draw one up here, and I'm just going to make this one short. It's just a little something. And if you could do this one, I'm pretty sure you can do this one. In fact, here's one way to think about it. We're basically going to do the same thing again, but just upside down. So let's do it right side up. You've drawn a vertical line. That's step 3. We need a couple orthogonals. Go ahead and see if you can do it on your own. But if you get stuck, look up here. We're going left. We're going right. We're going inside. We're going outside. You guys ever see Rudy? You know that reference? Great movie. Gets me misty every time. Let's see, I'm on to step 5. I get to decide where to drop in 2 more verticals. I'm going to make this like a Rubik's Cube. I want to try to make it a cube shape. So let's just, I think right about there. Make sure they're vertical. This is slanted a bit. That's where it looks a little wonky. I think right about there. Yeah. And then I've got to do that crisscrossy thing. See if you can finish yours up. All right. Now I've got a cube floating in space. And we're starting with cubes and rectangular prisms and things because they're easiest. We will get into pyramids and cylinders and other things, or combinations of forms. But for now, this is the basics. Oh, don't forget to erase those orthogonals, step 6. I think I'll just leave some of them, since this is just a sketch, so I can remember where they're going. If you'd like to challenge yourself, turn this into a Rubik's Cube. It's kind of a rite of passage for folks learning 2-point. What I would do is probably divide my leading edge into 3 equal sections, best I can. And then make some orthogonals. I'm just going to get started on this. Maybe I'll finish it up real quick. This is a little bit advanced, but some of you are ready for this. More verticals. And more orthogonals. That's a bit tricky to get. What do we have there? 9 times 3, 27 little squares to look accurate. So you might not be ready for all that, but if you get some free time, give it a try. Hopefully you got it to work. So this is cool stuff. I mean, I think it's cool. My idea of fun when it comes to drawing may not be yours, but I hope they can see why it's kind of mathematical. If you mess up or one line's off, things don't look right. It doesn't work. All right, so there's the basics, guys. But let's do an exterior. Let's do an outside scene in 2-point perspective. Grab a new page. Follow me. Write down 2-point exterior. Before I move on, though, are there any questions on this? Anything I can repeat or slow down on? Or? Okay. Again, you may decide, 1 point's your thing. You just want to do the 1-point road with some simple buildings and houses or a fence. But, 2 points, I think, a little more fun. But exterior, outside scene. So again, all we're going to need are verticals and orthogonals, lines that go to the vanishing point. That's what that's supposed to represent. Go ahead and put in an eye level line. Couple vanishing points. Get them out as far as you can. And let's start, kind of like we did before. Let's start with a line right about here. You could put it right in the middle, but I don't know. I don't like things perfectly symmetrical. That's something you might do in middle school, is draw your leading edge in the middle and then make your lines go this way and that, and you'd have a perfectly symmetrical building going left and right. But let's think a little more advanced here. All right, go to the left. And again, hopefully you're seeing, I'm just not drawing these all the way to the point. I just am in this habit where I draw them lightly. I know they're going to be erased. So as long as I'm shooting them the right direction, I know I'm going to be happy. All right. We are on to step 5 already. Adding 2 more verticals. You decide where, but if you want yours to kind of look like mine, and you can do a lot of cool drawing tricks together, make it kind of like mine just for starters. I'm going to make another vertical here. I'll make another one here. And this is going to be my grocery store. That's where it lives. So this is basically what we did last time. We're just going to make it a little more lifelike by adding lots of details. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to catch up, and then we're going to add some things to this. Alright, here's something fun you might try. Just add another vertical line wherever you feel like it. And anytime you have a vertical, you go left, you go right. So I'm going to go this away and that away. Kind of looks like an arrow. But with 2 more verticals, I can make that into a little annex or a little addition. All verticals, 2 orthogonals. In fact, let's blend these together. Let's make this just the front of the building. So all I did was eliminate this line here, just erased it out. Kind of brought those 2 together and merged them. Let's put a point right above this line. Now let's make this a pyramid on top. Just draw down to the corners. 1. That one happens to be vertical. There's a trick to make this more mathematically perfect. I don't think I'm going to show that quite yet. Alright, folks, anything I put on this side, let's just shade it a little bit so you know which side I'm talking about. Anything on this side references this right vanishing point. And if you're ever unsure, here's a trick I always remembered. Just look at the perimeter of the shape you're going to draw on. This is made out of verticals, orthogonals. Verticals, orthogonals, all going to this point. So if I wanted, say, a door here, it's going to be vertical. I always laugh when you guys make these doors that are slanted on angles and stuff. Doors stand up straight. And it's going to go to this vanishing point, which in this case, look at that. I ended up with an accidental horizontal. If this door was a little taller or a little shorter, it would be on an angle, but I said we're not going to have any horizontals, but yeah, if you end up with your door right there, it'll be at eye level. So you could start with, let's put a window right here. A big window so we can see all the breads and meats. You could start with verticals and then make orthogonals. So now we have a window here. You can start with orthogonals and make verticals. I think I'll put a sign up here. So I'm going to start with orthogonals. And then I decide I'll drop in my verticals maybe right here and right here. So there's the sign for my store. I'm going to call this the food store. So I'm going to actually try to find the middle of the sign using my X trick. Alright. That'll just help me to locate where the middle of the sign is. So I can write F-O and O-D. Heck, I could divide it up again so I know right where the F and the O should go. X trick right there. Okay, F O. This might be a little advanced for some of you, but I'm just taking advantage of my X trick and actually mathematically making each of these smaller so that I know I can fit F O O D right in there. So that's a trick you might use. I mean, those could be windows, but the way that X trick really comes in handy. In fact, even the F would be in perspective. That's a bit long. Let's shorten that. Well, this is probably how the pros would work. They'd want to make sure that the word food was accurately portrayed in perspective. So you might think it a little bit overkill, but no, I mean you kind of want to figure it out, be scientific about it. Yesterday we made an ellipse. You know, you could always go and make a clock or something up here by pulling it out of a square. Well, a square that's in perspective. I'm just going to do this quickly because I know some of you are ready for this and some of you are not. But you could find the center of it using your X trick, and you could find out where that ellipse might live, just like yesterday. You can see how a clock might fit on the side of this building. But just notice, what I want you to see is that anything on this side goes to this vanishing point over here. Unless you break the rules. If this door is not just a door, but it actually is an open door, or maybe it's a little recessed area where you can walk in before you open the door, we could go to this other vanishing point. And then we've kind of broken our rule. And it looks like you could walk in before you open the door. So I did that. I said everything goes to the right, but if you're going to make something 3D, you go to the left. So while you guys are catching up, I'll just draw Detroit back here. GM buildings, smaller buildings. There we are. All right. Hey, let's do this. Let's make this a brick wall. Kind of like your sketchbook prompt, draw a building with graffiti on it. So, I'm going to take this leading edge here and divide it up, just like we did when we made our floor. Take a moment and try to just eyeball it for now. Like if I was doing this for a client, yeah, I'd probably use a ruler and measure everything perfectly. Since we're just sketching, try to break this up into even sections. And if you have 4 or 8, it's fine. Or I got about 16 here. Just start to connect the dots and shoot those little hash marks toward the vanishing point to the left. Of course, if all these little hash marks were spread out evenly, your brick wall would be perfect. If you really made sure that they're aimed right toward the vanishing point. I'm not going to waste your time and draw all of them, but hopefully you can start to see what's happening here. Well, this will be interesting. Right here, it's eye level. That one is horizontal. So accidentally, sometimes that happens. And you could put some graffiti on the side of this building here. Here's what I mean by using a little bit of perspective. You could actually make it look smaller back here and bigger there. That might be kind of cool for your sketchbook prompt. Or you could draw your bedroom. I'm going to show you how to do that tomorrow. We'll do an interior. Or you could take this knowledge and make yourself a really cool desk. Maybe there's things popping out of your desk and, well, whichever. But I'd like you to use perspective. I definitely want to see some perspective going on. Alrighty. I think we need some other details in the foreground here. So let's follow me no matter what you're doing. In fact, I'm sorry, I want to back up and do one more thing. As it relates to these bricks, I hope you understand how to make those, but some of you might not. So watch this. I'm going to go over until it looks like about the size of one brick. And then I'm going to carry this line all the way up, but staggering it. In other words, every other would get a line. And then I'll try to find my next brick. We could be more mathematical. There's a system to lay these out, but for now, just try to make each one look like a little brick. And I would probably do this whole row. And then come back for the ones in between, like this. Once you know where they live, just carry those upward. I am going to ask you to make some details on your buildings and in your rooms. Or in your still life if you decide to do it. You could make, again, you could make a perspective drawing with, cans of soup and cereal boxes. That could be your perspective drawing. It doesn't have to be architecture or rooms in your home. It could be in outer space. You could be drawing spaceships and roads in perspective that exist in space. But understand, folks, that anything on this side is either going to be vertical or going toward the left vanishing point. Same with this side. They're sort of cousins. All right, follow me so you don't get behind, no matter what you're doing. Put your straight edge right on the bottom of this building, just like you did before. Because we're going to make a sidewalk. I'm going to make 3 lines. One that's right underneath the building, another one to show me the sidewalk, and another for a curb. In fact, let's do another over here so that we have a street. And maybe one more for the other sidewalk. See, I wish that point was out further. If that point was off the page, this wouldn't look so warped. So we'll believe what I made is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines, all pivoting on that vanishing point. Let's do the same the other way. Find the bottom of the building, draw a line just until it crosses over the other sidewalk. Let's make the sidewalk a little curb, and maybe the other side of the street. This is really getting bent here. I can't stress enough that if you decide you want to do 2-point perspective exterior, I will insist that these points go further off the page. You know, I could have started right here with this leading edge to make all of this happen. This is sort of the leading edge of my sidewalk. I just started with orthogonals first. Actually, you know what I've located here is the corner square of my sidewalk. You may notice that these lines on the sidewalk are not horizontal today. They're orthogonals. And if I want to continue making lines on the sidewalk in front of my store, well, if I look at these 2 lines, I know they're going to this point over here. So let me make another. In fact, I'll continue that over here too. So what I'm drawing right now are orthogonal lines to the left vanishing point. And pretty soon these lines are going to look almost horizontal because I'm fast approaching the eye level line where they would be horizontal. It's the same for the sidewalk over here by the graffiti. If I wanted to put lines on that sidewalk, then just watch for 1 second as I just freehand them. What I'm trying to do though is make them go toward the right vanishing point. So I'm just constantly making them angle toward the vanishing point to the right. If you got that to work, you know, if you want the curb to look vertical, you could drop these lines down. Verticals make it look like it's going up and down. It's not Detroit anymore. These lines would continue over here if you wanted. Hey, one more quick trick. Yesterday, or 2 days ago now, we found the middle of the road where the lines might be. You can still do that trick with 2-point as well. Just carry a couple lines through your road in perspective. Maybe there's a crosswalk there. But if you did your X trick on this crosswalk, you would locate right where the middle is. And you could find out right where that line or lines would go. You know what? I want some street lights out here. So, just like we made telephone poles yesterday, I'm going to start with 2 orthogonals. I'll put them on the sidewalk. So I'm going to put an orthogonal right on my sidewalk, and maybe one right about, I'll make them taller. I'm trying to avoid running into any other lines. Maybe right about there. So I don't know if you can see these 2 lines I just made. One is right here, and one is at the sidewalk. But I'm going to now use those 2 orthogonals to make a whole bunch of light poles that get smaller and smaller and smaller. So go ahead and set up a couple lines. I'm just going to make these simple. Maybe there's one right here on the corner. It's a light pole that goes straight up and down. And there's just a simple light up here. Let's make another that's over here. So we're using those 2 lines to guide us. And maybe there's another right about here. All the way down the street, so we feel safe at night. Don't forget to erase those orthogonals so no one sees your magic. And that could be telephone poles or any number of things. Alright, we've got time just for one final thing, and I'm going to move a little quick on this, but, you know, just a bit ago, we did this. I'm going to do that again. I'm going to turn it into a car, though, this time. So, go go ahead and make yourself a leading edge, the part of the card coming toward you. I am going to move a little quicker because we're running out of time for today's class, but I'm going to shoot this to the left and to the right. And I'm going to actually carve a car right out of this block. Got two more verticals. We do our crisscross technique and figure out where the top of this car is. So that's where my car is going to live. It looks like a stick of butter right now, racing down the street. But, you know, a car would be in perspective. You don't want to just fake it and kind of just try to draw any old car from the side. You want it to look like it's in perspective. Now, obviously, there's a way to calculate even these ellipses here. But just for simplicity for today, if you were to draw a couple ovals, one bigger, one smaller, I could have started with orthogonals and made those perfect. You can start to get the feel that that's a car. We're almost out of time, so I'm just going to make the hood of the car, which goes to this left vanishing point. Make a little inclined plane here to represent the windshield, also going to the left vanishing point. You can start to see this come into focus here. We've got a rear view mirror, side mirrors, some windshield wipers. Let's make this a convertible. You can start to add some doors, start to carve it, like make things round, like we did with our chair yesterday. You can start to put some lights in the front, and maybe there's a grill here for some air intake, and you could just really start to carve your car. Think about seats and people and steering wheels, and we just don't have enough time to get to the details, but if that's something you want to tackle, we'll tackle that in more depth. That's it for today.